So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The format we will follow is that we will have me and Srekala in a conversation now. We're going to go through for about an hour by the clock. There's a little clock that's within my view. And at about 60 to 65 minutes from now, I will open up the floor for questions from the audience, when you can ask questions to Srekala. So I underline the word questions, because we'll be short on time. And if you have any perspectives to share, observations to make, you can make it offline, but keep it questions. And then we will close the evening sharp at 8:29 p.m. That's something that we always do very well with all the curations that Vani and I lead. We start and finish on time. So that's the format. Thank you, Srekala, for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, AVIS and Vani. Thank you both to have featured me in 2 years. I still remember vividly at Savera, the panels that we were.
Right.
And I'm so very happy that among my family and friends, my own Dr.Biswa, Balaram Biswa is here, who knew my journey, the medical journey so well from 1983.
So very, very happy to have you here. I'm sure you will find some interesting takeaways from this conversation too. So let's start, Srekala. Let me first ask you this question that's always been uppermost on my mind when I got to know your story closely at the panel discussion and the few meetings we've had at Starbucks in the run up to this program.
Yes.
So my first question is, how are you so full of life all the time? What's the secret of your enthusiasm, your energy? What's your outlook to life all about?
It is just that I think it runs in the family. I think all of us are very, high voltage, spirited, and I think it is just runs in the family. And in the sense, I am like this from the day that I think I came to know that I am like this. I am like this only. I'm like this only. I mean, I like to be. I always like to be happy. I always feel there is nothing to go crocodile crying and chumma mukkala adadala enak eppume pidikadu. So I always love to be happy. And Srekala, right in Vidya Mandir in 5th standard, when one Totadri sir, our Tamil master, he said, Srekala Elamani, Srekala da. So from that time onwards, it's been going on. Then I went to Vidyodhya because it was only for boys then. So my outlook to life, in the sense, I'm like this.
So Srekala illa Srekala.
Even Mr. Totadri sir, I don't know whether my son Abhishek will know him, Totadri sir, and because he's also Vidya Mandirian. And he said, Srekala Lamani, Srekala ma. Even when I went to join Abhishek, he was there at the office and he told me,
so that's the way you look at life.
I look at life that it's everything. Just take the day as it comes. Face it. That's all to it. Everything has a positive side to it. Okay, for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you be either. But bounce back. I think it is just a blessing, I should say.
It is a blessing. It's a very rare quality, and I must share here that I learned this quality through our own crisis, this art of being non-worrying, non-frustrated, non-suffering that I talked about. But seems to come naturally for you, because 5th standard teacher, he noticed it, what a visionary he was to have noticed that streak in you. So thank you, Srekala, for starting.
Thanks.
And I think the way she started with all that, using words like high voltage and high energy, I'm just reminded of Srikanth opening for India. You could never predict what he would do, but one thing you can be sure about, there was going to be a lot of action and entertainment. So I think it runs in the family.
Oh yeah, one Sita Ratnakar, who was the director of Dugdashan Kendra, she said, you like your brother Shrikant, and Chepok like 6'4" at Chamari Ngalani 6'4" adikadama. Daiva say that. What Bosky has told that in his interview, like Anna வந்து cricket ல ஆடுறாரு, இவங்க Srekala வந்து stage ல 6s and 4s. Abdina Bosky always has told me in his interviews also.
You are that. I think we use the word even in the interactions we had in trying to describe her as a person. and the description which was carried in the invite which you would have all received, I think we've used the word unputdownable. So life cannot put you down and keep you pressed, we bounce back. But let me go a little early in life before we come to your medical challenges and how you dealt with them. We'll come to that in a bit. But I want to go to your dance. And as I see it, my questions here are not coming as an interviewer. I'm understanding what makes Srekala Srekala. You know, what makes her the person that she is. So I'm keen to understand at three levels. When a child in a typical conservative or in a traditional South Indian home is born, whether it's a male or a female, orientation to and particularly Madras, orientation to art, culture, music is guaranteed.
It's a must,
right? So, you started your dance journey with Guru Sarsa. So, it must have been just to you start going to dance class.
Absolutely
right?
True.
So, what was your impression of dance at that young age? Do you remember anything about class?
But of course, as you said, every South Indian family, the girl and the son and the boy have to learn one of the classical art. Sitama called me that we were put up at that time. Appa, Amma, my brothers and myself. And Sitama colony, the just walkable distance was Sarsa teacher, Sarsalia.
Okay.
So, that's how Appa and Amma joined me in February 1969. And it was my guru who tapped my talent. And in 2 years, 1971 was my Salanga Puja. And 1972 was my Bharatanatyam Arangetram.
Oh, 1972 around the age of 10, 11 you would have.
Yeah, 10 and a half, 11. You can
Sorry, at the 11 Arangetram பண்ணும்போது உங்களுக்கு அந்த தெளிவு இருந்ததா this dance is going to be my life ங்கற clarity இருந்ததா?
எனக்கு ஒண்ணுதான் ரொம்ப நல்ல ஞாபகம் இருக்கு. Because அப்பா had organized at Mylapore Fine Arts Chennai. அங்க வந்து ஆலிவர் ரோட் இருக்கு இல்லையா? And அப்பா had organized வரவாளுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் Coca-Cola Fanta. So, என்னோட அண்ணாவும் தம்பியும் அங்க Coca-Cola Fanta எல்லாருக்கும் கொடுக்கறேன்னு தாங்க சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருந்தாங்கன்னு அப்புறம் தான் தெரிஞ்சது. Then after the Tilana, after my Kurati Nadanam was over, and somebody I could hear, one of my mamas or which uncle, I don't know, உனக்கு தெரியுமாடி இந்திரா, my mother's name, Fanta குடிச்சிருக்காங்களா? That's the only thing that I remember. After the Arangetram, Fanta குடிச்சிருக்காங்களா? That's all I know. I still remember one Ramani Natrajan Mami, Veena Vasipa, my mother's friend. And the Ramani Mami வந்து எனக்கு கொலுசு gift பண்ணா on my Arangetram day. I was totally upset that the கொலுசு got lost. The Salanga Puja, I mean, Salanga மேல ரெண்டு கொலுசு போட்டா அதுக்கப்புறம் நைட் ஆட்டுக்கு போச்சு ஒரு கொலுசு தொலைஞ்சு போச்சு. So அதுதான் எனக்கு இம்பார்ட்டண்டா இருந்தது. Not about my Arangetram.
Not about your Arangetram.
Yes, I said, அம்மா அப்பா அந்த கொலுசு நீ தேடி தான் எனக்கு வரணும். I don't think even my grandson will be like that. Achit.
So you Fanta and the missing golusu.
Yes, the Fanta and the missing golusu.
Yeah, that was the story of your
That only I remember. Fanta and the missing golusu. And one more thing that I remember was my party, that is my father's paternal grandparents. Appa Tata வந்து in Padavarai Mattakin after my Sadhinchini, the main piece of Tyagaraja Kriti. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவ வந்து என்ன சொன்னா என்னோட பாட்டியோட வயிறு அடிக்க அந்த 4/4 the usual traditional அடிக்க இருக்கு இல்லையா அது போட்டு விடலாம் பதம்க்கு பதில் நான் வரணும்னா ரொம்ப குத்து ஆடுவான். Then I still heard Appa telling after the Tilana, after everything was over, Kutti, Appa used to call me Kutti. Hey Kutti, உனக்கு ஒன்று தெரியுமா தாத்தா வந்து வர்ணம் மட்டும் தான் உன்னை பார்த்தேன் அந்த வடவரி மத்தாக்கியில உன்னோட நெக்க தான் பார்த்தேன் அதுல இருந்து ஏதாவது ஒரு வைரம் கீழே விழுந்துட்டா இல்லையா. That also I remember very well my father telling. But these are the 3-4 because I was too young, as I told you.
So when does if it involves that, we'll have to talk a little bit about your health challenge. We'll wait for it.
Yes,
but we will wait for it. Because
yes,
my question is, when did dance become your life? When does that clarity come?
Yeah, the clarity came much after. See, I got married very young. my husband Bharat caught me very young.
So let's pause here. Let's pause the question about your dance for a minute.
Yes.
And let's go to your meeting Bharat. How did you meet Bharat? And what was the romance like at that time?
அது வந்து teenageல I can only say the infatuation grew into a romance. But Bharat, you know what he used to say? He used to meet, he was a very, very good, still a good friend of my brother Srikant and Srinath, both of them. And Bharat, along with his brother Arun, also a state player. He's come from Bombay. He's also there, my brother-in-law. So Bharat used to come home just to say hi. And suddenly one day I got a call from Bharat. I don't know whether Bharat will remember this. He said, hello, appala ungalku mobile kadiyade. And only the landline is there. I picked up. Then he said, நான் இப்பதான் நீ வந்துட்டு போனேன் பரத் ஞாபகம் இருக்குல்ல? Oh yes Bharat, I know. என்ன ஆச்சு அப்படி கேட்டேன். இல்ல, I think I left my purse. Can you just find out Kala that I'm known? And Kala, can you just find out where? நானும் ரொம்ப சமத்தா, okay? அந்த போனை கீழே ரிசீவர் கீழே வச்சுட்டு தேடுறேன். அம்மா பாத்தியா, அப்பா பாத்தியா, ஸ்ரீகாந்த் பாத்தியா, ஸ்ரீநாத் பாத்தியா. கடைசியில I went back. And he said, Kala, just like that, you know, I love your voice. I want to listen. Hello to you. And the poyana romba nambiten. That's how it started. After once I said, then I went to Etharaj College. And where my very good friend Ramya is here, Shyamla is there. They're all my college mates from schoolmates. And Kolhapuri chapel. எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் பரத்னே. Can you believe my husband to be அப்போ இன்னும் engagement ஆயிருக்கு. engagement ஆக போறது அப்பவே then the romance started. Oh, எனக்கு உன்னோட voice பிடிச்சிருக்கு, எனக்கு I know that you are talking with everybody very freely, but I know that you are not in love with anybody. So won't you take up my the proposal? I said, sure Bharat. அப்படி நானும் ரொம்ப சமத்தா, oh definite Bharat, but I have to tell my mother and father about it. 16 வயசுல வேற என்னங்க you expect? Nowadays girls are very much matured in 4th standard. 4th or 5th standard.
But that was the fastest you could be at that time.
Yes, that's what. And
you were telling something about the Kolhapuri chapel.
And Bharat, I don't know whether again you remember this. He came all the way to college. Can you believe it? And he gifted me with. He called me from the college room, economics B, and he gifted me with the Kolhapuri chappals. Yeah.
That was your first gift?
That was the very first gift I got from Bharat was a chappal, a pair of Kolhapuri.
That was symbolic. Because the last 40 years, she's been using that.
Okay, so that's how the romance happened.
Yes, that's how it happened. More from his side.
And you got married young. You got married
Very young.
at the age of
17 Bharat met me 18. 18 years, 1 month. 4th of July 1961 is my date of birth. And August 19th, 1979 that I got married.
Wow.
August 19th, 1979. Exactly 18 years and 1 month. So I still remember Appa's, partners, one Mr. Prabhasar Reddy and S.V. Gopal Mama and all. என்னடா இது இவ்ளோ குட்டியா இருக்கா, இவளுக்கு போய் இவ்ளோ கிராண்டா வர கல்யாணம். You won't believe, my dear audience, 5,000 people ate in the muhurtam for my wedding at Hemamalini Kalyana Mandapam.
Wow.
I can't, Appa had organized.
Some wedding that.
It was.
The big Indian wedding.
At that time, 1979. August.
So that's.
What?
Big fat wedding.
Yeah, big fat wedding.
So that is how you met Bharat and that's how you got married. Right?
Yes.
So, and then Abhishek comes in a couple of years, right?
In 2 years' time, Abhishek was born to us. When I was 20, I became a mother with my darling Abhishek. Yes.
And you were dancing? Were you dancing at that time?
Yes,
I mean,
I was.
around that time?
Let me tell you, in this, my mother-in-law played an important role. Mrs. Jaya Krishnan, a veteran Carnatic musician. Other than Appa, Amma, everybody encouraging me. And since she being a Carnatic musician, she said, in fact, for that also, let me let out a secret. Bharat said, "Illa, romba nalla figure oda irukka. Idhukku ipella dance aadno stage la poi." Then my mother-in-law said, "Bharat, ellarkum art varadhu." He was also only 23 years. So what will my dear husband do? And so then my mother-in-law made him understand, and from then on, only encouragement from Bharat and of course my in-laws.
So Jaya seems to have been a very progressive lady, very progressive.
Jayamma, rumba. In fact, she would have loved, she and my mother Indra would have loved to be here, but for both of them not having good health. And nichama era mudiyadhu rendu peralayum.
So I'm now going to move into her challenging phase, okay? And I think one of the reasons why I let her talk about Bharat and talk about the romance is we have to go into the mind of a young 20 plus, 23 plus young lady, a mother, a child who's only 2 years old, and newly married. I mean, a marriage for Vani and me, it's still very fresh and young. So 30 years. So, but depending on how you're looking at it, 5 years is still very fresh. In these circumstances comes the crisis, and so for some time now, I'm going to get into that time of your life, Srekala, and so I also want you to forget the audience and go into that space. Okay, so when the first, how did when brain meningioma was?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, is that the right
word
description? So when it was even before it was diagnosed, what were your first symptoms, and how did you respond to those symptoms? What did you think about them?
See, my son Abhishek was just 1 year old. And I had gone for a visit to Besant Nagar, and I was just putting him to sleep. And all of a sudden, I think I just got convulsions on the left side. Okay, that's all I know. And then at the Panapura, my brothers were upstairs, Srikant and Srinath. So I shouted for them. Srinath, Srikant, that's the only word I shouted, but they heard my shout. And poor Abhishek, I was putting him to sleep, I threw him on the bedside. That much God gave me that sense. I threw him to the bedside. I didn't throw him down. I threw him to the bedside from my lap. And I shouted, and they came. And I could hear Srikant saying, Srinath, seekram konduvada, saviyada konduvada. I don't know how it was, I don't know, only doctor knows. And then adukapra konjam seriya pochu.
So that was the first symptom, that was the first time it struck you.
That day itself, my father, the next day I think, he took me to the best hands of Dr. Biswa, who is here with us. He is the one, Professor Biswa. To me, my God, my doctor, who gave me my second life along with the neurosurgeon. He only put me on to Dr. B. Ramamurthy. And he's always been there. I just cannot believe.
That was the symptom.
Yes.
And then you meet Dr. Biswa.
Immediately, everything was taken care of within 10 days.
When the diagnosis came,
yes,
and brain meningioma is a brain tumor, and it is considered to be, some cases are considered to be benign, and yours was benign, right?
That doctor used to tell me from the beginning, because first my health also played in hide and seek. The first MRI scan, Egmorland. The first MRI scan showed big, okay? The second showed small. So Dr. Ramurthy felt, and everybody felt, that it was only a brain tuberculoma. So I was put into 90 streptomycin injections.
Wow.
Correct, doctor? Mati. My son still tells even concox, and ella oru 15 matra per day. And that I got jaundice also. Through that
phase, okay.
Because then doctor used to ask me, Pinnadi number 3 potter, Edula potter. Yen doctor in the Marilla numbers everything to king illama, streptomycin injections, if it is not tuberculoma, you might become deaf. So I just laughed, even that thank God doctor now no he also laughed. I don't know how, maybe AVIS age also mattered a lot. Am I right, doctor?
You were feeling that you when you look back,
because I always wanted to dance.
Right.
Doctor, na dance dance.
That was the only question.
Dance was everything for me. Doctor, can I dance? Doctor, can I dance? Can I do this? But
so when the diagnosis came and you were told that you were going to go through a surgery,
அது அப்ப சொல்லல, only after the third MRI scan.
Okay.
When again,
So அந்த நேரத்துல when the diagnosis came and you're going to go through a surgery which is going to be a major surgery,
Yes.
and did fear or insecurity at any time strike you?
இல்ல, Bharat and myself went to Dr. Biswa wanted us to take the scan to Dr. B. Ramamurthy at a CAT colony that he was. And so when Bharat and myself went, Bharat ரொம்ப serious-ஆ, Bharat hands became so chill that I knew. 20 minutes அதை பார்த்துக்கிட்டே இருந்தார் டாக்டர். நான் உடனே அந்த silence, I broke the silence. டாக்டர் என்னன்னு சொல்லுங்க டாக்டர், what is this? ஒன்றும் இல்லைம்மா, பகவான் உனக்கு மூளை ஜாஸ்தி வச்சிருக்காரு, அதை நான் கட் பண்ண போறேன், அவ்வளவுதான். ஓ டாக்டர் நீங்க சீக்கிரம் கட் பண்ணிடுங்க. That was my answer. அதுக்குள்ளே பரத் கொஞ்சம் குவைட்டா இருக்கியாக்கலா ப்ளீஸ் அப்படின்னு he was telling me.
He was encouraging you to be serious.
Because he knew the seriousness, but I never knew it.
And what about the surgery itself? It happened very interestingly on 31st October 1984, you said.
On Indira Gandhi's assassination.
And you told us the other day that it was a long surgery. So can you describe that time?
That doctor was fully in the operation theatre.
Mm-hmm.
He came into the theatre. He was fully there for me for 6.5 hours. And Dr. B. Ramamurthy along with his team did this surgery. And in the middle, ஏதோ வெளில வந்திருக்கார் டாக்டர் பி ராமூர்த்தி. உடனே எங்க அம்மா, people know that she's such a வெகுளி woman and very pious. டாக்டர் என்னாச்சு போய் அம்மா கேட்டிருக்கா. அங்க அப்பா வந்து கொஞ்சம் குவைட்டா இருக்கேன்னு கேட்டிருக்கா. ஒன்றும் இல்லைம்மா, உன்னோட முதல் பொண்ணு செத்து போயிட்டான் டாக்டர் அப்படின்னு கேட்டாலும். இல்லை, இது உனக்கு மறு ஜென்மம், புனர்ஜென்மம் எடுத்திருக்கா அவங்க பொண்ணு. This is a second daughter, நீங்க நினச்சிக்கோங்க. So from that day onwards, 1984, I still keep, doctor gives me a call every October 31st without fail. And from that time onwards, I'll say, I'm only 34 years old, I'm only 33, அப்படின்னு கலாட்டா பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருப்பேன். But I have a 37-year-old son, 32 years old daughter-in-law, and a 3.5 years old Archit, my grandson, to little baby.
That's amazing. So that was the way you looked at the whole situation with as I can see it, a lot of positivity. But how did you deal with the pain, the physical pain? I read somewhere in one of the reviews of an interview you had given that
okay.
they obviously for a brain surgery they shaved off your hair. So how did you deal with physical discomfort
yes, that's
and pain?
Again one nice joke is there which I remember now. On October 30th, I went to the beauty parlor and I had a boy cut and I took a photograph. சரி ஒரு boy cut, anyway நமக்கு டான்ஷன் ஷேவ் பண்ண போறா, anyway மொட்டை அடிக்க போறா, ஸோ நம்ம எல்லா ஹேர் ஸ்டைல் தான் நம்ம ரொம்ப கித்தாப் மாதிரி பண்ணிடலாம், let us see அப்படின்னு நினச்சிட்டு I had a hair cut. அப்போ the bounce was called as Kanya. So I went to the Kanya beauty parlor and they gave me a very short nice haircut. And I came to my Katpagam Avenue house and I told Bharat, எனக்கு ஒரு photo எடு, and ஒரு pink salwar kameez that I was wearing. He said, இந்த மாதிரி photo பைத்தியமா இருக்கியே நீ. I said, no, I want. Then when I went to the operation, before the operation theatre that morning, one sister comes and says, நான் உங்களுக்கு ஷேப் பண்ண. அப்பதான் actually I came to know. Because doctor said, எல்லாம் உனக்கு தெரியுமா, எவ்வளவுதான் நான் இந்த டாக்டரை பாவம் பிடிக்கிட்டு இருப்பேன். He was very patient enough to answer all my questions. And then when she did, I said, okay. அந்த மொட்டையும் பரத் இந்த ஆப்ரேஷன் தியேட்டர் போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி எனக்கு ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்துறேன். Because that time, Persis Kambata, the universal model had a motto. So what I did, I called myself Persis Kambata of Chennai. Just before. So I was so happy that I could, hairstyle difference. Anyway, dancer I cannot have, and anyway I don't like short haircut and all that. But anyway, that was, I don't know how, as my doctor told me in 2009 on my 40 years of dancing and 10 years of my dance school, when Dr. Padma Subramanian, everybody gave me a standing ovation. I still cannot forget. He said, if all of us are blessed twice, Srekala is blessed 5 times, he said.
Fantastic. And I think you invoke that blessing with your never say die attitude.
Yes, that's what Subramanian Mama also used to say, never say die attitude.
When we announced this program, Times of India came up with with a short web story. I sent it to you also.
Yes,
and
yes.
they said, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? So that's a very famous saying. I think when life gives you a surgery, you become a Persis Kambata. You know, that's the way you have taken it.
Not only okay, after Persis Kambata, ella konjama acha, konjama talmudi valaruma. Both my brothers, Jargandi, ena நம்ம ஆந்திர இதுல மொட்டை சின்னத்த தலைமுடி வளரச்சே திருப்பதியில வர மாதிரி இருந்தாங்க. என்ன பார்த்து எனக்கு முதல்ல ஒண்ணுமே புரியல. ஏய் கலா ஜர்கண்டி. Both of them used to tease me that. See, all that also adds up to it, I feel.
Your family support.
Even the family support, because they did not lament over this. They did not talk about this. They did not feel, they never gave, repeat, ayyo pavam and all, which I think that itself is a blessing. ஒரு நாளை கூட ஐயோ பாவம்லாம் சொன்னது கிடையாது. எங்க அம்மா தான் ஐயோ பாவமே குழந்தைக்கு பாவம் டான்ஸ் ஆட முடியல. At that time my mother-in-law looked after my son, who was my grandson's age now, 3 years. So எல்லாமே everything, I don't know how, I mean I should be saying எல்லாமே அந்த இடத்துல அழகா இருந்தது. And I was with such a, the best safe hands and whom he put me on to.
So when you come out of the surgery,
yes,
and you look at life, obviously the doctors would have told you that this was going to take some time for you to recover fully, and you will take X number of days or weeks or months. How did you deal with the situation about understanding whether you'll be able to dance again or not? Or was that ever in doubt in your mind? Or how did you start your orientation towards dancing again?
Sorry, as far as I remember, even my guru, who was there throughout my surgery, standing outside, my revered Sarasa teacher, she also will never say, "Ayyo pavam kalan solla maata." Maybe she had in her mind, but she'll say, "Irunda kala madri irungle." She cannot get Srekala. Ore Kala Bharath abdinu pavam enoda teacher. So I never had anything like that. There was nothing to handle. See, na maatrilla correcta chaptena Bharath will be there. The prescription given by doctor I used to follow. I still remember doctor having told Shrikant, I will ஒரே ஒரு இதுதான் உங்க ஃபேமிலியே என் பேச்சு கேட்கறது, என்னோட கோட்டை நான் கிழிச்ச கோட்டை தாண்டாதவ உன் தங்க ஒருத்தர். Because I want to dance. To dance, you have to take care of yourself. You can't, somebody else will not take care.
So that was driving you?
Yes, the driving force was dance, and of course to bring up my son very well. 1 year, 3 to 4 years. At least 18 days. I still remember a very touchy incident when he came on his birthday to cut the cake at the hospital. He said, "Amma on tanna kuda talhani." After he left, I cried like anything. That was the only day that I cried during the surgery days. And I mean, I couldn't take it because this child missing the mother. So I wanted to come back.
For him and for your dance.
For my dance, everything I wanted.
So can you tell us a little bit about that day when you went back onto stage?
Yes.
Do you remember that day when you went back onto stage? How was that feeling, and what did you perform that day?
And that was in 1986.
A couple of years after the
2 years later. And teacher வந்து கூட இல்ல, நீ மாமா முதல்ல தையிலேருந்து ஆரம்பி, அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் உன்னை இது பண்ணிடுறேன், உன்னை பத்தி எனக்கு நோ ப்ராப்ளம், நீ எல்லாத்தையும் கிட்ட ஞாபக சக்தி உனக்கு ஜாஸ்தி. So 2 years passed by. 86, my first performance was for Kabani Finance at Bharati Vidya Bhavan in Chennai. So அதுல கூட எனக்கு என்ன சிரிப்புனா, பரத் எங்க மாமியார் தான் பாடினாங்க அந்த ப்ரோக்ராம்க்கு எனக்கு. Everybody were there. Okay? The best part was Shrikant was going up and Bharati Vidya Bhavan was not like today. There was a huge tour and from the stage you could see people walk in and go. And I was asking him, "Ennada nee yen ipdi mele ikkadi poidda?" "Ayyo, nee eppadi dhaan aadna enakku therilla, enakku bayamma irundhudu. Nee edana stage la nee kiri vindru poliyum enakku bayamma irundhudu." That's so my father. In fact, she is Dr. B. Ramurthy's nephew's wife, Uma here. And in fact, doctor, when we were coming out of VHS hospital, the courageous, the wonderful Krishnamachari sir, my father, he was catching hold of me in the lift. on the 18th day when he, நான் வந்து என்னப்பா discharge ஆயிட்டு வரச்சே ஏன்பா நான் குட்டி எனக்கு லிஃப்ட்னா பயம். So those were the.
So when you danced, you
Yes.
felt your what was your feeling at that time?
Absolutely, I was normal. I looked normal. Still, the pictures are there. The video is there. The dance was, of course, yes. Every stage, even now, although by God's grace I've earned a name for myself, but still every stage is a learning. Every performance is a learning. So at that time, I mean, all the items I did very well. How my guru taught me, and I had a wonderful review also, as he quoted Subramama's review in 1986 itself. It came out very well.
Right after this,
Yeah.
he talks about your surgery also in that.
Yes, he talks. He just spoke about 2-3 years,
Right.
and then he stopped.
Right. So it was it's a fantastic thing that she's sharing. I met recently the editor of Shruti, Ram Narayan,
Oh.
and his wife Gauri. We met them at
He's a very good friend of my
at the
husband's.
Express Avenue Mall, and he said, "Avis, I've received the invite for Srekala's program. I don't think I'll be able to make it because we have some other engagement, but I definitely want to mention something which I'd like you to share to the audience that day." So apparently, when she was at VHS, Gauri and Ram
Yes.
went visiting,
And they sang a ghazal.
Right, and
Oh
she
my
asked them
God.
to sing a song for her.
Yes.
You know, so they according to Ram, he said, as a young girl, Srekala had this zest for life, and she's in the hospital facing a big challenge in life, a question mark on whether the surgery will go this way or that way. A normal person would have been plagued with doubt and fear, but here she was willing to enjoy the company of her close friend and saying, "Can you sing a song for me? Can we make this moment memorable?"
Yeah, because எல்லாருமே ரொம்ப ஐயோ பாவமில்ல. Hey, please, let's be happy. Tomorrow morning is my surgery. ஏன் இப்படிலாம் பாவமா மூஞ்சி வச்சிட்டு. Hey, Gauri, you're supposed to be excellent in ghazal. No, பாடியா.
That's how you
That's how I
invited them to
said.
sing.
And then thanks for reminding, thanks to Ram. And then Ram said, okay, நானும் இவளோட பாடுறேன். Okay, வா.
So you had a private ghazal concert in your
Yes,
hospital
and there
room.
were 32
And they're
of
very
them
good singers,
in such
by
a
the way.
small room. There were 32 of them. Such a small room that doctor knows. Ward number 8, that I remember. On the first floor, doctor. On the first floor, it was 8. So I was in that, and
And they sang a song for you.
they sang a song, and many other friends also joined in group singing, and I was so happy. Although Gauri still felt, "Eppadithaan ipdi irkiyo?" I said, "No problem, Gauri."
So I want to go on in the journey, but what I'm picking up here, my big takeaway at the moment is, என்ன நடந்தாலும் I think அதை face பண்ண கற்றுக்கணும். Instead of fighting life, face life. But அது ஃபேஸ் பண்ணுறதுலையும் இதில் ஒரு அழகு இருக்குது. எப்படின்னாக்கா ரசிக்க கற்றுக்கணும். There is an opportunity in a hospital, there is a hospital situation, there is a surgery situation, but in that moment you can make it memorable. So it's up to you how you deal with it. That's fantastic. But I want to ask you, and then you continue dancing, your career picks up as a dancer.
Yes, it picks up.
And I saw a lot of reviews in that time, in the late 80s.
Yes, very
Every publication of note celebrates your abhinayam,
God's grace,
what you bring to the stage. So I won't go into the dance part of it, but then you're dealt with a second blow, a second health challenge. As if 1984 was not enough, 1983-84 was not enough. A second one comes calling. This time closer around the turn of the year, decade, right?
Yes, 1990 January it started.
It started. What was this? The only other person I know who's had myasthenia gravis or gravis, I don't know how to pronounce it, is Amitabh Bachchan.
Yes,
because
superstar.
that was big news at that time, and we were all introduced to that term thanks to him having to go
Is
through
it a
it 4 times.
Spanish term, doctor? Or a Latin?
Myasthenia gravis. So, tell us about what were the symptoms, how did they hit you, and how did you deal with
that
it?
That again was a joke, okay? Like, what happened, as the evening went, as the evening went, maybe sometime in December, November, December, or October, I don't remember, 89. And I used to feel, as the evening goes, which Dottatri sir told Srekala, that Siripu was missing. And I go to the mirror and be with the puppet. And then the fingers used to come inside by itself. And evening eyelids will droop. Or drug addict madri. Then Appa, once when Appa called me, Appa, Yendi Kuti MGR Madri Pesra, he asked me. I said, Appa, because I'm very close to Appa. I said, Appa, something I feel different. But there is definitely something wrong with me. You must be class 4 hours, dance class 4 school. I said, Cheripa. Then again, after 2 days, I told him the same thing. Then he said, okay, go see your doctor. Now, Dr.Biswa. Then I went to Dr. Biswa because very close to our house. Then I went to him. Then he put me on to EMG, Charya, Colonel, I forget his name, doctor. He put me on to, first, yes, that was the other, we went to another doctor, but then that turned out to be a fiasco. And then we went to this Colonel Iyer in Vijaya Hospital, where and the electromyogram test பண்ணிட்டு he said that it is அப்பதான் சொன்னார். It's எனக்கு இன்னும் கூட அத பத்தி சரியா தெரியாது. What is
I understand that
it's nervous muscular. ஒரு I could not even take a comb. அப்படி ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்படுவேன். So then at that time doctor said 1 year dancing கிடையாது. But அதுக்கு நடுவுல 90 January, that was the first time that Mahabalipuram festival was inaugurated by the great dancer AVIS Viswanathan. So, come name all the dancers from all over India were there. Okay.
And you were performing this?
Yes, I was performing along with my my colleagues in Sarsa teachers class. And Tattoda Katham no Tattoda Katham. So when I was doing one particular the next day I went to doctor. It wouldn't come back in the position. So Hema Malini, actress, Vani Ganapati, along with Paduka, Sudarani, all the dancers. And they all said, are you Srekala Bharath? There were 15 of us who were dancing. And teacher was so dependent on me. Vanda Valasina, Ada Murchavane. Teacher, first time I cried in front of her. Teacher, teacher, the teacher, my mother had come. Then, but that day, my dear audience and AVIS, I took it up to my mind. We have to be successful. I decided in front of all the dancers, the dance teachers, I must present my dance performance once I get well, and I have my Dr.Biswa who will make me very well. So I'm very sure about it, and believe me, after all the treatment, every one of them have seen my dance. Hema Malini ji saw my dance at London Bhavan. And I told her I reminded her, that was in 2000. So I reminded what happened in 1990 January. Then Vani Ganapati saw my dance in Bangalore. She was a chief guest along with Suhasini Hassan. At that time she was very much married to Kamala Hassan. And likewise, Lakshmi Akka, Sudharani, Auntie,
so all Paduka, of them saw your performance?
All of them over the years. And the way they treat, once when I heard that Paduka was telling, Bharatanatyam Shagalama, நான் சூர்யா ஃபெஸ்டிவல்ல ஸ்ரீகலா பரத் டான்ஸை பார்த்தேன். என்னதான் புதுமையா இருந்தா கூட அந்த சாஸ்திர அந்த பாணி, அந்த வடிவூர் பாணிக்கு எடுத்துக்காட்டா இருக்கா. I was so blessed and I thought, it's only my God's grace. That's all I can say.
I want to pause here for a minute, and I want all of us to reflect. You're dealing with one blow and you've come out of it and you've put your career back on track. It's not even a career to her. I think I have a question that I'll ask her. From what I understand, it's more an offering of herself to the universe whenever she dances. So you're doing all that, and then you are dealing with a second blow. Now, when it came a second time, did this second time when it came, challenge came, did you not feel like, why me again? Did at that time at least feel any self-doubt or fear or insecurity?
There was no insecurity at all, but
No, because this time, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this time, if the treatment did not work, the condition you were dealing with, myasthenia gravis, would leave you incapable of dancing, right? So at that time, did it not worry you that you may not be able to dance
to
again?
be very frank, I never knew that myasthenia gravis could even cripple a person unless and until my own doctor here, who told on the stage in 2009 that it could have even crippled. Again, but that time my son was about 11 years old, okay, Abhishek. So நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், அது மட்டும் எனக்கு fearன்னு வரல. When he put me on to one doctor, B.S. Srimati, the cardiothoracic surgeon, at that time it was called Chennai Kaliappa and now it's Bill Roth. When I overheard, again it's a joke only, when I overheard doctor, just on the door of மூடிட்டு போச்சே, she said, நாளைக்கு வந்து என்னப்பா அது வீல் ஆரம்பிக்க மாதிரி ventilator ready பண்ணிடுங்கப்பா அப்படின்னு சொல்லச்சே, I thought, okay, because just then my Periya Mamanar, Arun, you know, Kasturi Peripa, he died having ventilator. So, I told, I had Dr. Biswa Kalamitar Vera, and one Dr. Mani Ravan and a friend Anga in there. Hey, they have told, ventilator, I think I will die tomorrow. Hey, they have told ventilator because my Periya Mamanar died. Amma mummy, she is another classmate, Viji's mother. And I said, I think tomorrow I'll die. நான் என்ன பண்றேன், என்னோட பிள்ளைக்கு 11 வயசு தான் ஆப்போகுது இந்த நவம்பர், I don't know, 91 when Ramya, when was Anush born?
92.
This was in 92, March 23rd was my surgery.
24th.
And your son was born on 25th. The owner of Messe was born on March 25th. Okay? And so she couldn't come to see me at Chennai Kaliappa. Sorry, Bharath was there, I'm sorry. Bharath was next to me, Dr. Biswa. ஏன் கலா அப்படிலாம் பேசுற, இப்பதான் வேற டாக்டர் பிஸ்வகுமார் உன்னை பார்த்துட்டு போயிருக்காரு. He became more jittery. I said, Bharath, let me tell you one thing. இப்போ அபிஷேக உடனே ஹாஸ்டல்ல போடக்கூடாது, ஓகே? ஒரு 4 years I'm not in it. And he is very attached to your parents than my parents. So he must be with Jayapati and Babu Tata. Adukapro, please put him in a hostel. And then you please marry, because you need a companion. Okay? You please marry, but all after 4 years. Because Abhishek appada or teenage vandrum kolanda. And the teenage la daiva seedi yaar veetlayum vekka. Nee hostel liye podu. Ena adu such a lovely kolanda. Idella namba solittu iru na marende moochi ella oru mari aittu Bharathku. Suddenly my friend Mani Raghavan comes up. நான் நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன், நீ பாரு பரத் கையை பாரு எவ்வளோ சில்லுன்னு இருக்கு, என்ன நினைச்சிருக்க வெண்டிலேட்டர்னா who told you? I said, then can I call Dr. Biswa? ஐயோ அதெல்லாம் பண்ணாத பரத், ஐயோ அவர் வந்து கோச்சுக்க போறார், அவர் ஒன்னமனா கோச்சு பாரு, நான் கோச்சுக்க மாட்டேன். That was by 8:45 9 ஆயிடுது. And அப்பெல்லாம் எங்க மொபைல் கிடையாது இல்ல டாக்டர் நமக்கு. So I said, ஐயோ but I know his land number, can I call him? Then he said, no. Then Mani came and told, with Dr. Biswa and Dr. B. Ramurthy, you have any doubt? I said, chi. Avamele enakku enna doubt, ventilator nu ketena. Ventilator na kadasila na saagara podanna ellarkum varum. So I thought ventilator means we'll die. Then Mani started quoting, ventilator la irundha ava, ayyo please Mani, I don't want to be like a vegetable, I don't want to lie down, no way Mani. And நீ கொஞ்சம் பேசாம இரு, இல்லைன்னா பரத் அடுத்தது அப்படியே மயங்கி விடுவான். அப்போ நான் போயிட்டு ஆயிட்டேன், ஐயோ why should my husband fall dizzy, ஏற்கனவே நான் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் இருக்கேன், அவரை வேற பாத்துக்கிறதுக்கு யார் வருவாரு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு I said okay, I kept quiet.
Luckily that surgery went well for you.
Went well and there was no need of ventilator. I still remember
the big story.
Dr. Biswa coming at the ground from the basement was the ICU. And என்னமா இப்படி பண்ண, உனக்கு என்ன வேணும், இங்க 18 stitches போட்டிருந்தா, that is they thymectomy. They had to cut open break the ribs and arrest the breathing and more அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் சொன்னா இதெல்லாம் என்கிட்ட. And then he said, உனக்கு என்ன வேணும் சொல்லுமா அப்படின்னு. அதுக்குள்ள எனக்கு தெரியாது, பக்கத்துல யாரோ ஒரு பேஷண்ட் he is gone off. He died. And so doctor did not want anybody to tell me, don't tell Kala that in the ICU the next patient is dead. Then he said, உனக்கு என்னமா வேணும் அப்படின்னா எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஆவன் இலாச்சி ஃப்ளேவர் ஆவன் வேணும் டாக்டர் இந்த மில்க் வேணும் டாக்டர் எனக்கு ஆவன் மில்க். And he immediately ordered. Dr. Biswa is a lion, a tiger, whatever you call it as during work, but such a sweetheart of a person that he is. And romba iduva, I still knew, I still remember, the bar, get her an oven, flavored milk, ilachi flavor. And then, அது இங்க ஏதோ பண்ணிருக்கா போல இருக்கு டைமக்டமி போது அது இங்க என்னன்னு தெரியாது in order to drain the blood. Then doctor was there. I told doctor என்ன விட்டுட்டு போகாதீங்க இது பண்ணாலே எனக்கு வலிக்குது டாக்டர் அப்படின்னு. சரிம்மா நான் உனக்காக இருக்கேன் டாக்டர் என் கை உங்க கை நான் பிடிச்சி இந்த மாதிரி nurses they don't worry. And then the nurses told doctor if only it was a glass she would have broken it into the piece, tiniest of the tiniest pieces. அது என்னன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல இங்க ரெண்டு ஏதோ ஒரு ஹோல் போட்டு இங்க ஏதோ ஒரு டியூப் வச்சாலாம். I don't remember anything. But doctor was always positive. See, I was surrounded by positive people. So maybe that's how nane positive. My family, my doctor, my everybody. So what else?
That's how you.
God's blessings.
So let's talk there about.
Yes,
you
nice.
use the word God. So let's talk a little bit about. You've gone through two huge challenges. Each one of them debilitating and coming to an extent of being on the brink, as far as your life is concerned.
Yes, yes.
How did this shape your view of faith in a higher energy? How much does faith play a role through a dark time?
Yes, you must. First and foremost, now when the konjom, I am a very pious and bhakti, because Amma is maybe that blood runs in me. And I was from 1985. I have been my Ishta Devam is goddess Santoshi Ma. So I feel she is the power behind me. Yedukme Santoshi one. I had a dance class. Nariya teachers and masters used to say maybe because Srekala is doing Santoshi Ma puja that she is always happy. And so அந்த மாதிரி Santoshi Ma puja பண்ணுச்சு. I don't know, maybe that's what I'm saying. No, it's only God's blessings. That faith na எனக்கு I don't remember. எனக்கு ஒண்ணுமே நான் டார்க் டேவாவே எடுத்துட்டது கிடையாதே. Unless and until I have never taken it as a dark day at all. I always feel every day is a good day. Make the best use of every day. And the only thing is when the second surgery கொஞ்சம் எனக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லாம் வலியே கிடையாது. ஏன்னா மூணு இது இருக்குல்ல லேயர் ஸ்கல் இது அதுன்னு எனக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வலியே தெரியல. செகண்ட் தான் தெரிஞ்சது. And when doctor advised that it should be pollution free, from the Chennai Kalepa I was straight taken to Nilangarai to Srikandana's house. Because that was the only place where there is no pollution up. So angadan I unde or 1 month then only I came. And so it was
so faith did play a role.
Faith
in a way you looked at inborn faith.
The inborn faith played a lot of role. You must be faithful to your doctor. You must be faithful with the person whom you are. எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் சந்தேகமா கேள்விகள் கேட்டிருந்தா it's of no use. இப்படி ஆகுமா அப்படி ஆகுமானா டாக்டரே அப்படியே விட்டுடுவார். இது என்ன மாதிரி இந்த பொண்ணு இப்படி ஆகுமா அந்த மாதிரி நான் கேட்டதே இல்லை. டாக்டர் I'll be fine now. Okay doctor, you're there. That's all to it.
I want to amplify that learning here. This is a fascinating point. Faith in an Ishta Devam, faith in a higher energy, faith in a defined God in a defined place. These are ways in which we express ourselves. It's an expression and it changes from person to person and it's deeply personal. But the faith that she's really talking about is trusting the process of life.
Yes.
The process of life is not a straight line at all. The process of life is a cycle. What is up will come down and what is down will go back up.
Very, very true.
So during the time that you're being challenged, when you learn to be patient with the life situation, and if we have to take a leaf from Kala's book, we learn to be happy. We learn to be, make it a very, very exciting time. It's an adventure. It's a plunge into the unknown, right? So that is the faith that she's talking about. When she says, put your faith in the doctor, Put your faith in the moment. Put your faith in what you are experiencing. The Avin Pala is only a metaphor. The flavored milk is only a metaphor.
And அப்போ எனக்கு அதுதான் பெருசா
அந்த
பட்டது.
நேரத்துல அது enjoy
எனக்கு அது ரொம்ப பெருசா பட்டது. My doctor asked, ஆசையா கேட்டார், உனக்கு என்னமா வேணும்? உடனே
So let me ask
ordered
for
for
it.
the flavored milk.
Right. That's the way you celebrate life. So I think I'm picking up that very relevant point. That trust the process of life. And what Vani and I have learned, and we've also been through two blows. I mean, one is the bankruptcy, but and on the other side, through the bankruptcy, we went through a situation where our son went through a deeply personal, depressive situation, and he was far away in San Francisco. And our daughter, at the same time, found a sponsor, and all her needs were taken care of by the sponsor, and she landed in New York. So we have two children on either coast of the US, one completely endowed with everything, and the other with nothing, and who wants to face life and fight, deal with this situation with a fighting spirit. And I remember me and Vani sitting down and telling ourselves, the only way we can deal with this is faith. Which is, he has been given a challenge, we have been given a challenge, our daughter is going through a miraculous phase in life. We all have to deal with our situations with complete faith that if you have been given a problem, you will be given the solution as well. So you will be taken care of, you will be provided for, you will be cared for. That learning is what I'm seeing in your story. That is the learning that I'm seeing in your story.
Thank you so much.
So I can completely relate to it. That's why I shared a little bit about our journey as well.
Yeah, I can understand how it would have been.
You have to go through that to understand what we both are sharing.
Yes,
Right?
very, very true.
So let me ask you my next question. On that note, so faith does play a big role, right?
100%.
Now many of us, when you look at a Kala and you say, Kala, how do you have the strength? When people look at me or Vani and say, how do you have the resilience? How do you have the strength to face life? How are you dealing with it? I always say that when you have faith, when you trust the process of life, you activate your inner strength. That's your inner strength working for you. The resilience is endowed for all of us. Resilience is like the Bluetooth on your phones, on your smartphone. That activate pannina da vela seyum. Bluetooth தானாவே வேலை செய்யாது. You have to go and switch it on. And the switch தான் faith in the process of life. So I want to ask you, you're so strong, you're so soaked in faith. Did you change the way you looked at your dance after these two experiences? Because people often say that when you dance, you lose yourself. And that's why I feel that you are not dancing, but you're offering yourself to a higher energy. Talk to us a little bit about how these experiences shaped your art.
Yes, here my guru, Sarsa teacher, played a very, very important role. Because when she always used to choreograph only with me, and Katala phone panva 7:30 Vanduri class. Then a teacher na 8:30 Korean school come na Vanduri teacher. I'll be there till 12:31 because as I told you, I find so much of happiness and in my dance, in learning, whatever it is. I used to take classes for hers to other students when she used to go out right from my 8th standard itself. So what she told me was after இதுக்கு அப்புறம் உனக்கு வயசு ஆயிருக்கு எனக்கு தெரியும், you're just 30 now 32 after both the surgeries, and she said இனிமே உனக்கு choreography நான் எப்பவுமே நான் உனக்கு டஃப் கொடுப்பேன், இப்போ நான் அபிநயம்லயும் உனக்கு கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ண போறேன், and tough choreography வாரணம் மொட்டிலானா be it whatever it is, நீ தான் முதல்ல கத்துட்டு நீ தான் முதல்ல ஸ்டேஜ்ல ஆடணும். So I delved in many different choreographies. See, I felt that the maturity was soaking only at the age of 32 in my dance.
Okay.
Because I still vividly remember my guru will always say smile at dance, but smile hides everything. But at certain stage when you said that they started recognizing me as an upcoming young dancer, and people what to say, I understand as an example to the other younger people. I had one comment from a Sabha secretary telling, which my mother-in-law advised me, and till date that advice is done very, very good to me. Just don't smile for everything. You must emote, you must learn how to emote. So go into that character. So in Silapatikaram that my teacher did, I would have been very hardly young in school only. I went and stood as a kavalkaran. அதுக்கே 25 பேர் என் ஃபேமிலியில வந்து பார்த்தா ஐயோ நம்ம கலா வந்து கலைவாண அவங்க ஸ்டேஜ்ல வந்து ஏறா அப்படின்னு. So like that, one by one, like they say, from behind you must come. First day உடனே வந்துட்டா it will go off. So teacher always says உழைப்பு அந்த trust. She was not very good in her English. உழைப்புனா நம்ம கலா ஸ்ரீகலான்னு வராது சொல்லிட்டேனே, நம்ம கலா கிட்ட தான் கத்துக்கணும். Because I will see to it on the step வரலன்னா நான் டான்ஸ் கிளாஸை விட்டு வெளில வர மாட்டேன். I won't. And teacher will say, நம்ம கலா தானே இருக்கா, பிக்அப் டான்ஸ் ஆடுறீ பத்மினி ஆடு, இவ பார்த்துட்டே ஆடுவா. After 3 minutes she made me dance and I did it. So it's all God's blessings, Guru's grace, everything is there.
So what happens in the time that you perform, when you go on stage?
Yes.
Are you dancing to an audience? Are you dancing to yourself? Or are you dancing for your Ishtadeva, a higher energy?
I dance to my God and myself, and because once we go and turn ourselves, when we go to the ecstasy level, how are we to know what we are doing? How we are doing? That is dance. இப்போ நான் 10 தலை ராவணன் வந்தானா அவரோட இதுல போனாக்க I won't know what I've done. My students who've come here, they always say, Auntie, how was it that one program you're doing it in a very different way? The same 10 thalai ravanan. I said, I don't know, Kanna. I really don't know. So each and every, I mean, like, okay, if I'm going to do emote Bhakta Meera Bhajan. So as a Kutti Meera, she carried the Krishna's doll and she said, Krishna da enakku ellam. You must become that baby Meera. And then when she comes to adolescence, she is very shy of people, shy of men. And then when she says, even when she gets married to Rana, I don't want you. I don't want this marriage. I want only Lord Krishna. So there, from a very Kuti born, and then the adolescence, then the adult, and then finally as the Meera, a devotee. Like that,
so you go through the stages of that performance.
Yes, and
losing yourself.
Losing myself. This cannot be taught. Teacher,
nor can it be explained.
Yes, it must come well within, not from mind, from within the stomach. That is a performing art, be it music or instrument or dance. More so in dance. That's why people say that dancers reach gods more, singers and dancers, and especially dancers, because Mukhamasi, almost all the compositions are on Shiva, Rama, Krishna, Devi, whatever it is, except for numbers like Javalis and Padams, maybe on a Lord. And so Andamadri, although Javali is only a 3-minute or a 4-minute piece, it's very difficult. Like I've had a very good review of Srekala having the quicksilver ability to change emotions. I mean, I just feel blessed whenever I get all these in my...
And you feel that happens because you lose yourself in the process.
Yes, because I told you, no, dance is my prayers. Dance is my passion, my prayers, which keeps me going.
When you talk about prayer, when you step on a stage, do you feel sometimes that do you feel that sense of gratitude and overwhelming moment, because for you you could have been in a situation where you were not dancing in life, right? So
as I told you, I never even thought of it.
You never thought of it.
Because I thought I will dance again. That's all. I never thought that நான் டான்ஸ் ஆடுவேன், எவ்வளோ பேர் எல்லாரையும் இது பண்ணுறமே டான்ஸ் ஆடி அது அப்படி நான் எல்லாத்தையுமே I just used to take it. Although I appear sometime like சிலதெல்லாம், of course, I am also a human being. I will be a little, but நான் டக்குன்னு அதை காமிக்க மாட்டேன். Or 5 minutes I may be like that. 6 minutes I bounce back as if nothing has happened. Like that. If we go to the secretary and he says, "Illama indha varsham ellam fill aayirthemanu." Then I come back, say, "Mama, நீங்க ஒண்ணு பண்றீங்களா? ஒரு நாள் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா போட்டு கொடுத்துருங்களேன்." That's what Mr. R. Ignanaman did it for my Pongal festival in 1987. Can you believe it? He said, Apriya, okay. And Ignanaman is like Subramama among the Sabha secretaries. Okay? And he rang up my mother-in-law before I reached home. Here is your resourceful matapponnu. அவ என்ன கேட்டா நான் எல்லாத்தையும் முடிச்சிட்டேனேம்மா அப்படின்னு அதை காமிக்கிறேன் January 16th ஓட January 16th தானே மாமா one day January 17th why don't you just increase இன்னும் பேப்பர்ல வரல ஒரு நாள் இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணுங்க நான் என்னோட சோலோ ஆடிட்டேன் and I danced January 17 1987 where my son with the same color one yellow shirt and இதுல வந்து உட்கார்ந்தான் அந்த பிரஸ் பக்கத்துல இப்படி இப்படியே எனக்கான அந்த மோகமா இந்த கரப்பிரியா வர்ணம் ஆடுவேனா இல்ல இவனை பாப்பேனா அவ்வளோ இது லவ்விங்கா பாக்குறான் அவனோட புருஷன் வச்சா லவ்விங்கா இப்படி வேற பாக்குறான் சோ பாத்தேன் உள்ள போனேன் போயிட்டு தண்ணி குடிக்கிற மாதிரி அது ரொம்ப தைரியம் ஜாஸ்தி குண்டு தைரியம் நடு வர்ணத்துல will you go and take Abhishek away from the press box and make him sit behind I am getting distracted.
So you know, I'm picking up two things here.
Yes.
The one beautiful thing is when I dance, it's a prayer. What is this thing that we talk about as a prayer? Is it something that you do as a ritual, or is it something that you do in action, in thought, in everything that you do? I would lean on the second part, which is it's not a ritual. Prayer cannot be relegated to a certain time of the day, to a certain space, to a certain way of doing. I think you got to bring it in the way you're doing. And I'm reminded of what Osho said. You know, again, Osho said that when you create art, you disappear from the scene. When you create, the creator creates through you. It's not you. There is something else that's happening inside you, and you are only the instrument. There, art is born, says Osho. And I just heard her say that in her own words. So that's a very, very important takeaway for me, where you say that whether it's Meera or whether it is another composition that you're doing, it is not just being in the character, but it is losing yourself in that moment.
Very, very
right?
true.
And this can come, this quality of thought can come only from life's experiences. You cannot describe this, we can't put words to it. It comes through life's experiences. Rumi in fact says this very powerfully. Where's Ramesh? Hi Ramesh. Yeah. So Rumi, he's a Rumi fan like me, or he's a fan of me saying Rumi quotes. But Rumi has said that where there is pain, there is hope for treasure.
Wow.
Where there is pain and ruin, there is hope for treasure. So somebody having gone through extraordinary challenges and being blessed with the attitude that Srekala has, only that experience could have given you the perspective that your life is an offering to a higher energy.
Yes,
right?
very true.
It won't come naturally. Otherwise it would just be a dance, it would be a recital and not an offering.
Yeah, in fact, even my Margam presentation, that is Bharatanatyam Margam with invocatory, Varnam, Padam, Javali, Tilana. So even if I'm going to, about 4 solo performances during a season, 4 to 5, if I'm going to do the same Varnam, still my students will come to, certain students of mine who are still senior, they'll say, Auntie, from this Varnam was very different, but day before yesterday you did very different, because I love it. I love that Varnam. If I love it, no, once you, Tilana may be dear to you. Like we love a person, we love, same way, even in Bharatanatyam, you may love a particular aspect of the dance, which you will come out very well. And even being a solo artist and a group artist also is different, my teacher used to say. Solo-liyo, nee solo-lo aadradhu verama, group-la aadradhu vera. Enakku romba santosham, nee renduthiliyume nanna aadra. So all that I think I'm very blessed. Solo out of the group, you can't be taking the center stage when 10 girls are dancing around you. You can't say that, nava anga irupena. Inga unakku designate panirkaalo anga dhaan irukanum. So we learn, I always feel, no, to lead you must have been led. But I was always fortunate to have only the best of people around me. Sarsa teacher was again a boon too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It takes a lot of humility to say that after almost 49 years on stage. Yeah,
Yes,
she's going to do
next year is
50
my
years.
50 years of
50 years of dance.
So excited for the 20 years of my dance school. And again, my Dr. Biswa, I already booked him. Doctor, don't go to UK for your tennis. July 6, 2019, which இப்போதைக்கு இது பண்ணிருக்கே இவர்தான் வரணும். And Usha Dinesh knows how much it's going to happen.
Fantastic. I'm now going to open the floor for questions. Please keep it to questions. I'm timing it here. We are very tight on time, so please keep it sharp. Yes, Dr. Biswa.
I'm not going to ask a question, I'm just going to make a statement. Behind every successful man there's a lady, there's a woman. Behind this every successful woman there are two people. One is her husband and the mother-in-law.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure to be here when Srekala is being interviewed or in a talk show. Because I've known this family for over 40 years. I've been their well-wisher, guide, whatever you call it, and especially for Srekala. So you have heard that story. Not many people would go, would spring back after two such massive surgeries. One on the brain and one in the thorax. And the second one was a more crippling disease than the first. First should have got away without anything. The second one was, as the name mentioned, gravis means a very grave disease. Maya means muscle, asthenia means a weakness, and a grave means, it's a Latin word. So it's a very serious illness, from which fortunately we've been able to get her out of that through a surgery which was done improperly. And she has no trace of that now, as you can see. The ebullience of Srekala and the zeal that she exhibits and the passion that she has for the art, and she is able to communicate to all her students. That is a great blessing in life. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to be associated with family and particularly with Srekala.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. No problem.
Thank you so much, Doctor. My blessings that you were here.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a pleasant surprise. When I was coming here, 6:15, he gives me a call. And he says, Innama, another Dr. Biswa from a different number. He says, Doctor, I shouted, Bharath, Innama. I was so excited that my doctor was coming today. Thank you so much, Doctor. You made my day.
Can we go on to the next question, please? Thank you, Dr. Biswa. Any questions? Yes, Geeta.
I have a very, on a lighter note,
Yes.
I think those 7 Fantas that you took on your undated day way back in 1972, that fizz has still remained in you. It's now converted to bubbly champagne,
You can
vintage
talk about
wine. Seriously, the passion is communicated so beautifully.
Thank you.
And I think you are very inspirational, not just to, in fact, just 6 weeks older than you, although I mean, not the 21st May 1961 and
Okay,
4th July
1961. Okay.
But everybody, young and old, can take some inspiration.
Thank you,
I
Geeta.
hope you write a book about this journey of yours. That will be your gift, your legacy to all of us.
Thanks.
Is
Maybe
that
when the
happening?
time comes.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Ah.
Next question, please. We have a question? If you don't have a question, Rochna, you have a question? Yeah.
Ma'am, could you please speak a little bit more about your relationship with your students?
Yes, my students, I call them first my dancing daughters, because I have only one son. And my daughter-in-law Richa is also that becomes my biological son and daughter or daughter-in-law. Whereas all my students, I think just four or five of them are here. They are my dancing daughters in the first place. And whenever they come, the new or the old ones, I always tell them, and they know, I'm a very sweet auntie, dear girls, but a very strict teacher. And till today, only my husband and my son know that I get angry only in the dance class. My mother or everybody, they still think that so then I told all of you, come and sit in my dance class, then you will know. Because I want my students to do better. I want my students to be one of the best in the years to come. And they are already, but still I am a little tough guru, but God has given me that sweetness in me also to deal with them. About my students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Next.
Yeah, one question, Kala.
Yes, Usha.
Being a deep lover of dance, I've always seen the beautiful tradition form and enjoyed the dance performances throughout.
Yes.
But of late, with the next gen coming in and the requirement for innovation, it takes a lot of twists and turns. There are some different costumes, there are some different additions, and So for people like us, it's not really very pleasing to the eye because you know there's a lot of dilution.
Very true.
But when I see your dance, I see that the pristineness and the tradition being maintained and a kind of a beauty that you bring out so well,
Thank
taught
you.
by your passion. Now, aren't you finding it challenging from your students? I mean, are they agreeing to actually go that way, or are they being distracted by the dilution and asking you to also dilute your forms?
No, never. They will never go against me because I have done innovative items which he wants to ask that question. I will tell you that question is just going to come up. And it's not that I am strict. My staple diet is amalgam, which I teach them. They also love. And of course, they love performing in the group thematic presentations too. But they never say it is, I will decide, even if they are stringent with one varnam, I tell them, hey, borupa, yanake bore adikudhu, indha vaati nee vera varnam pandriya? And then they'll say, oh, you auntie is going to teach us new. So like that, it is, they know that according to them, all 5 fingers are not the same. But we need, so according to their talent, I teach them every item. And as he wanted to know,
Yeah, I think
I have done innovations.
we're short on time, so I'm going to request you to keep it very brief.
Yes, yes.
2 questions which are relevant to what the audience, which came from the audience, and one which I think is important to be asked here. But I'll ask the audience question, which is
Yes.
on innovation,
Yes.
which is you did the Lion and the Mouse, the Western adaptation.
Yes, for the IIT, I make my students do.
Right? And
Scholastic, right?
And then you did a piece, composed a piece on Jai Santoshima, which is
Yes,
rare
yes.
in a Bharatanatyam style.
That is
So
for
you-
the Spirit of Unity
right?
concerts.
And you also partnered with a haiku poet.
Yes,
Kala
Kala
Ramesh,
Ramesh.
and you did something in 2016. So
Yes.
I do see a streak of innovation in your work.
Yes, yes.
So how do you keep that balance between tradition and innovation?
Again, you know, that's just inborn, I think, and my guru's guidance. Because I also did the Grandeur of Women, Mahila Mahima, Penkulatin Peramai, which I took 8 women, and accordingly, right from the invocatory to the Tilana Madrina Vande. First, Sri Andal I took for devotion, and Jhansi Ki Rani I took for courage, and the Kannagi I took for chastity, and philosophy I took Mother Aurobindo, and music of course I took Emma Sama, and dance I took Rukmini Devi Arundale, and what's the other one? 8th one that I forget.
So you did,
I took for Tamil poetry, Tamil literature. So all 8 women.
so that was the innovation that you brought.
That was in 2000 itself. So it was also written how she had put in the modern concept, modern day concept in a classical capsule. That's how. In fact, even for Muthulakshmi Reddy, for the philosophy, the social welfare, Muthulakshmi Reddy, how she goes and she types and then she hands over to the judge and she gets a relief for the Devadasis. I did that.
I think for reasons of time, that I'm going to not ask a question that I wanted to ask, but I'm going to summarize it in my summary.
Okay.
But for now, I'm going to invite Kaveri. Is Kaveri here? Kaveri to come forward. I'm going to do a summary, so please stay with me. But we have a small ceremony which is a very personal offering from Kaveri to every guest who comes here. This is from Wandering Artist, and we work with Kaveri to create a piece of art here which involves the guest. So Srekala, I'd like you to step forward. This is Srekala's portrait done specially by Kaveri, which Srekala will autograph, and this will go up on the wall of fame at the Wandering Artist,
Oh, wow.
along with all the other artists who will be here. So I'll hold it up here. Kaveri, please come forward. We're out of time. So
Okay.
இன்னைக்கு
Date,
date
date.
போட்டு இன்னைக்கு date போடுங்க 9th June. அங்கே போட்டு.
Okay.
Thank you. This is Kala's autograph, which will go up on the wall of fame. So, on behalf of Wandering Artist and Kaveri, we have a small offering for you, Kala, from
Thank you
all
so
of us.
much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Vani. Thank you, my dear audience.
Please come back.
Yes.
I'll take this from you.
Okay.
So, what I would like to do is to quickly summarize what I take away from this entire conversation. Beautiful conversation. It's rare to find people like Kala in life where they're living in the same time as us and living through this that all of us go through, and yet find a way to deal with them very, very differently. What I learned from you, Kala, and when I met you at the panel discussion in 2016, I felt this very strongly that day as well, and I still feel it now. But I see that many people out there think that the first challenge in life is the end of the road. And Kala's story here is a fantastic example that it is never over, like in cricket, it is never over until the last ball is bowled.
100% art has no beginning or end to it.
Absolutely. So it is never over until the last ball is bowled. And therefore there is a lot of life after a crisis. A lot of life. And she's lived 34 years after the first setback, and she's still looking so fit and so youthful and so energetic. In fact, she has to announce that she's a grandmother. Otherwise we wouldn't know, right? So that's because I think there is an overarching grace that's there in all our lives, but she and people like Kala invoke that grace.
But 1 minute, I have to interrupt. My fitness I owe to my fitness trainer, Dr. N.K. Haridas, who's been working on me from 2010. And we, along with my students, went to Greece, last year, I'm saying yesterday, last year, and we did Fit to Dance also. And every summer camp, we have his fitness. And we've toured with US and UK. So fitness part of it, I think Haridas should be given a credit that he has worked on my fitness so well.
That's fantastic. Thank you for acknowledging that. So the summary I'd like to do is that there is a lot of life after a crisis. If we can be patient with life, every challenge makes you stronger, wiser, and happier. And I relate a lot to the way Kala is looking at life, because to me, she is a very, very spiritual person. Spirituality is very different from religion, please don't get confused. Spiritual perspective in life is all about understanding that it's a limited period offer and understanding that it must be lived fully in the moment. And she's an embodiment of that. In fact, Osho says that a spiritual person is a work of art, because a spiritual person's body, the fitness she talked about, the consciousness, the offering that she does in her dance, the thought and the deed, that ebullient spirit, that complete free play, all of that are in deep harmony. And a spiritual person is a joy to see. A spiritual person,
Thank you so much.
life is a fragrance, it's an art work, it says Osho. And that's what we saw today in the last 90 minutes, a piece of art, Srekala Bharath.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.